Hello, my podcast people, and thank you for joining me for yet another episode of my favorite podcast. If you're listening/watching on the day that it drops, it is Monday, February 26th. Happy last week of February. Right, we're almost in March. A few updates, and then we'll hop on into the episode. I'm stoked about this episode. We're going to talk about the X Factor, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a while now. And oftentimes when I get an idea, if I don't have the words, I kind of let it ruminate, let it marinate, and sit with it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready. It will oftentimes come out first as a podcast because I can just speak easily, express my ideas a bit more easily that way. So we're dropping this podcast style first. But before we do that, a few life updates. One, I literally, like an hour before recording this, just bought that fake plant that I've been talking about for the past 2-3 episodes. I don't know. So I will officially update you after it arrives. Speaking of purchases, I received my Henry Miller Ames lounge chair replica. I got it from theiconicchair.com. No affiliation with them. Maybe I should reach out, but I probably won't. But I'm loving it. This is something that I have with this chair. I've wanted it for years, and I couldn't bring myself to like pay $1 zillion for it. It was still a good amount of money. It was like $1,600 for the one that I got. But the actual one can range from like $6,000 to $10,000. And I was like, that's going to be a no for me. Though I did do all the research and, comparing the two. And I'm probably, after I record this, I'm going to write an email to the main list, which will come out before before this episode. But probably going to write an email about that and why we buy things. And I have some thoughts around that. But either way, receive the chair. I freaking love it. Lex has probably sat in it more than I have, but it'd be like that sometime. I'll keep you updated, but I fucking love it. The second purchase, I got a walking pad. Hate that name. I got a little treadmill for under my desk. We'll link it in the show notes. I do have an Amazon link for it. You save no money, but I'll make 1 penny. So if you want to support me because I did all the research, you could do that. It's by Red Lero, and I have really enjoyed it so far. I do my best work when I'm moving. When I was outlining when I was outlining the masterclass that I gave not too long ago, hit the desk. I did it in between sets downstairs in my basement gym. We're going to call it the basement gym that we have. But when I'm moving around and walking, and I think a lot of us are like that. So it's no surprise that I've enjoyed it thus far. And it's just been a great way to get steps in. I have found myself sitting a lot more. I've had more coaching calls with people this year, and I'm like, damn, I'm sitting so long and so much, and my brain doesn't work well with that. Some of the things that people have been asking me to help them with, I enjoy it, but I'm like, I need to be stimulated here. So it's been great so far. I walk at speed 0.7, usually between 0.7 and 0.8. So I'm not flying on this thing, but you can hit, if you're trying to do those 10,000 steps and things like that, you will hit it on this thing easily. So I'm enjoying it. Like I said, we'll link it in the show notes. I did my research, just of note. Please don't ask me any questions about it, right? Either get it or don't. And I shared a story about this and I was like, get it or don't. Y'all know I did my research and my parameters were durability, price point, right? They're all fucking made in China. They're all the same. So I was like, I'm not trying to pay $1 million for the same product. So I always look at reviews. I watch videos on things. I needed it to be portable so I can move it out from under my desk. I'm actually standing on it right now. I'm not walking. So Stephanie Hine, I know I'm not walking on it. But I'm standing on it right now because I don't want to move it out of the way. But it is fairly easy to move. It weighs 50 pounds, so I was looking at total weight. I was looking at durability. I think I already said that. I weigh 125 pounds on a good day, so I didn't need some super maximum durable, robust treadmill. I wanted it to be easy to use. I'm going to say durable again because that was a big thing. I don't want to buy something and then it fucking breaks. I will say I had to contact customer service already, but that's because one of the parts was actually inside of the motor. There's an extra leg that comes with it, and somehow it ended up inside the motor, and the things wasn't working. I had to take it apart. I did. But Lex, she got the same one, and hers has been totally fine. So I did contact customer service. They were helpful. They didn't tell me about the part that was in there. I actually took it apart before they got back to me. But either way, I have very much liked it. The price has already gone up. It was $199 when I bought it. It's at $259 now. But if you want that, it's in the show notes. Okay. All right. Last update. The waitlist for round 15 of my Instagram intensive closes tomorrow. Nope, not tomorrow. This Friday. What am I saying tomorrow? I got excited. This Friday, March 1st. Right? The Instagram Intensive is my 6-week online group coaching program that teaches health and fitness pros exactly how to use Instagram for online business. We start March 19th, and the waitlist gets not only first access to registration, but the only discount that I offer, because I don't be putting my shit on sale. So if you're interested in that, you want to get on the waitlist, we will link that in the show notes. Okay, let's hop on into the full episode and talk about what I'm calling the X factor of online business. Right? So right off the bat, no, everyone who plays the online business game does not get to win. Of note, it's very important here to identify what winning means to you and what success looks like to you. I think that we might have more winners if folks did that. We might have people experiencing more success or more people experiencing success if folks did that. Right? I've been having more discussions around this concept of a lifestyle business because I've been sharing about it more. This is what I really like helping people with. I'm not here to help people make the most amount of money ever. I have nothing against that. Go ahead, do that. But it's not like what I really care about. I really am happy to talk with people and they're like, I just want to make a couple, some extra money. I want to be able to make this amount of money so I can support this lifestyle that I have. Or like, I already have this lifestyle. I just want to keep going with that. And what should I prioritize? I love that. All right. It ultimately comes down to knowing you're enough, which to me is just a recipe for happiness and a recipe for success. I know that it is expensive as fuck to be alive, but you also do not need to be a billionaire in order to pay your bills. So yes, you do need to make a certain amount of money by all means, but you don't need to make $1 billion. And if you do, you want to go make $1 billion, amazing. Like go and do that. All for you. Like all yes, y'all the yay for you. But I prefer the lifestyle business. That's what I coach people on. And I think identifying your enough, like I said earlier, will help more people experience that quote unquote success. So back to this X factor, with all the people that I've coached, and this has got to be hundreds and hundreds into the thousands. It's definitely in the thousands by now. The one thing that always rings true and is a shared trait amongst everyone, even the people who I'm kind of like, oh, they're kind of grimy. Like people I haven't worked with, but I see them and I'm like, oh, it's kind of grimy. And maybe it's even more true for them, is that they have this X factor. And I believe that X factor is self-trust. Certain other traits and characteristics, like, the kids call it having Riz, aka charisma. I think that that's a bit more innate. Jill and I have been talking about that. And she was like, if you did like the, charisma school, I'd sign up. And I'm like, you already have it. But, one of the things I can do is like, I see people and I'm like, I'm going to hold up the mirror of what I see. But that charisma, I think that it's innate, and I don't think it can be taught as much. Right? I'd like to call that more of an it factor. Right? I want to say that this kind of it factor speaks more to energetics. I'm going there, folks. It speaks more to energetics and people vibrating at a frequency that is magnetic. Right? I think that part of the issue with like vibration and frequency and magnetism is that people who are not stereotypically appealing are the ones that are they don't fit into mainstream media, right? They're the ones that are the spokespeople for this. And then people are like, no, I don't want it because I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to associate with that. But like, we're like fucking all made up of water. Like everything is science. Everything is physics. So like that shit that you consider woo, like it's true. The woo is true. Okay? So let's just agree on it. And if you don't, I don't fucking care. Like this is my podcast. I'm going to say what I want. But that magnetism, that inherent innate magnetism that some people have and other people don't, I think that that's innate. And I don't know that we can teach that as much. I don't think that it's a skill. It's kind of like being tall. You're like, well, you just have that or you don't. But self-trust, which I'm calling the X factor, I think that can be taught. I think it can be worked on. I think it's a skill and I think it can be improved. Yes, some folks innately have more of it or it comes more easily to them, but I think it's a skill that everyone can work on. The question here then is how or why does this X factor, aka self-trust, contribute to quote unquote traditional business success? Very simple, because customers want certainty of an outcome. Plain and simple. Right? They want to know if they buy this thing, if they sign up to work with you, they're going to get what they want. It's why the grimy sales work, right? Those grimy salesmen are promising the shit out of an outcome. They are guaranteeing results that are clearly too good to be true, but the customer, for whatever reason, is buying it. And when I say for whatever reason, I'm saying that kind of as a way to soften the fact that the customer is not seeing the fact that it's too good to be true, right? I think people can be in really desperate situations and they're just like, I need this certainty, I need this outcome, I need this money, right? That's why they're buying it, because the salesman has promised an outcome. There is certainty there. They've shown up with conviction, and that customer feels like, okay, they got me. They're going to help me get this outcome. I am absolutely not saying be like that bullshit marketer. Do not fake it until you make it. Do not blow smoke up people's asses. I'm saying work on self-acceptance, which will help you work on self-confidence, which will then help you work on self-trust so that you can show up in a way that customers know with full certainty that you've got them. And that if they work with you, they're going to get what they want. This is the X factor. If we dig a little deeper here, because I just said that they're going to get what they're going to get what they want. Understand that as it relates to people getting what they want, the thing that they want is coming from you showing up authentically and offering something that is in alignment with your values, right? That thing they want needs to be what you're authentically offering. This is not about just blindly trying to sell people what they want, right? It's about promoting what you inherently have to offer. It's you showing up as yourself, you sharing your gifts, your talents, your messages, right? Your beliefs, your values, and then simply helping the folks that attracts, right? There's a big difference there. It has been my experience that folks who seek a ton of external validation before sharing things, folks who seek a ton of external validation and permission before showing up, right? They're seeking a ton of approval. They struggle to succeed. I think this is kind of wow, got excited. I think this is because of two things in particular. One, because they are waiting for this external validation, this permission and this approval, they take a really long time to implement, right? And the longer it takes to implement, the longer it's going to take to succeed. The second thing is that their audience can feel their hesitation. The audience can feel their uncertainty, right? People, customers, consumers, you watching this, you listening to this, you want certainty, right? You want to know that the thing that you buy, this treadmill that I'm standing on, I want to know that it's not going to break down. I want to know that it's going to allow me to get my steps. I want to know that with certainty. Of note, a little bit of a digress here. If you're watching this on YouTube, I probably should have said this in the beginning. Notice there's a chair in the corner now. That's because I spoke about earlier. I got the other chair, the new Ames chair, and that's over there. It's off screen, off camera. You can't see it. But that's why there's a chair back there. Will I move it at some point? Maybe. But I just had to rearrange the room. So just needed to address that for those of you that may be watching YouTube and you're like, it's different. What's going on? I got a new chair. Right. But that second point, right, this is something I've been thinking about quite a bit. And I didn't have the words necessarily to articulate it in the way that I wanted. And it comes down to that. People can feel your hesitation. People can feel your uncertainty. It's okay if you don't have an answer, right? There's a difference here. It's okay if you don't fully know, but people can still tell if you got them. I think about this as being a physical therapist. If you have shown up for this person and you've been like, we will work together to figure out exactly what's going on. Here's the resources that I have. Here's the doctors. It's okay if you say like, I don't know fully what's happening here, but I got you and I'm going to work with you to figure it out. And we're going to work to get through this. Even if that means I got to, I almost said outsource you. Even if that means I need to refer you to someone else, I have those resources. Right? This isn't about being like, I know exactly what's going on and you're just bullshitting them. Right? When you hesitate to even just show up at all. And you're like, is this okay? I'm thinking about people that come to me and I'm like, you just got to go post. You just got to go share things. Don't ask for my approval. You don't need my approval. I know you want it. You don't need it. Right? That's a game changer because your people, your potential clients, they can feel it. They want to know that you've got them. Self-trust, which I'm calling, again, the X factor, is something that I have seen pretty much ubiquitously when analyzing and assessing folks in the online business space who have experienced success, whatever. And this is all different types of success. Sometimes you have those outward metrics and sometimes it's just like people that I am friends with that maybe don't have those apparent, massive followings, but their business is very traditionally successful, like from a monetary perspective. They all have that X factor. They have that self-trust. Right? The cool thing here is that unlike the Riz charisma, I believe that self-trust can be taught. It can be worked on. It can be improved. It can be developed. No, this isn't the only thing that determines success, but I do think it is a phenomenal thing to look at and look at first if you're not experiencing the success that you may want. Okay? I'm going to wrap it up there. Don't forget, though, folks, the waitlist for round 15 of my Instagram intensive closes this Friday, March 1st. 6 weeks of online group coaching with moi that will teach you a health and fitness professional. Or if you're able to listen around the edges, you don't have to be in health and fitness profession, but I market it towards that demographic, teaching you exactly how to use Instagram for online business. Let's pull back and make it meta for 1 second. Hopefully you're still listening, you're still watching. I didn't ask anyone, should I talk about my intensive? Should I promote it here at the end of my own fucking podcast? And at the beginning and in the intro? This is my thing. I need to talk about it. I want to talk about it. I want to promote it because I want to help folks that want help with this. My conviction to do so, my conviction to show up and share my shit, people can feel that. I do business coaching for a living, obviously. And I have found the folks that come to me and they're like, I did this, this, and this. Here's why I did it. Here's what I think. What do you think? They do better than the folks that come to me and are like, what should I do? What should I say? What should I write? Right? This has nothing to do with being better or worse than, or more worthy or less, whatever. Anything that has like worth and value and shame and all that other shit. This is from a very objective perspective. And when it comes to building trust with your audience, and if we're going to take it into the business sector, the business lens, business sphere, right? It's imparting that certainty with your clients that they know that you got them. That comes from being willing to do the thing, to try it, to trust yourself to handle the outcome. Right? So, again, if you are not having the quote unquote success, whatever that looks like, that you want, a phenomenal starting point, a phenomenal starting place to, start thinking about like, where could I improve is that X factor, right? That's self-trust. Okay, gonna wrap it up here. I would love to hear from you. I always say that and I always mean it, but I would love to hear from you as it relates to this and your thoughts around this. As always, you can DM me, you can text me 310-737-2345. It will be green. It's my sideline, but I promise it's me. All right, officially wrapping it up here. As always, endlessly appreciative for every single one of you. Until next time, friends, Maestro out.